to tonight's induction ceremony for the Osceola chapter of the National Honor Society. I am Chloe Louts, a current student member of the National Honor Society, and I will be your MC for tonight's ceremony. Members of the National Honor Society, inductees, and members of the Faculty Council will now be introduced and will be entering in the rear of the room. First is Principal Robert Nelson with Chapter Advisor Ms. Katie Parent. With inductee Unique Berman. Next, Mr. David Webster with inductee Brianna Chase. This is Heather Trell with inductee John Lyons. Ms. Jennifer Witter with inductee Daniel O'Connor. Mr. Richard Baker with inductee Cassidy Santos. And rounding out tonight's front stage, our current NHS members, Akima Welch, Andrew Harrington, and Thor Bartlett. So tonight we will be inducting our newest members, Unique Berman, Brianna Chase, John Lyons, Daniel O'Connor, and Cassidy Santos. These students have demonstrated a clear understanding of the 5 qualities of National Honor Society: knowledge, leadership, scholarship, service, and character. They are truly outstanding in these qualities. This is why they are being inducted into the National Honor Society tonight. Now, if you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to introduce Mrs. Courier, who will be saying a few words about Unique Berman.
Unique Berman. When I saw her name on my roster for economics class this year, I had that feeling all teachers have when they are fortunate to have in their class again a student who makes teaching oh so rewarding. I first met Ganit 2 years ago when she was a freshman in my world history class. Quiet and studious, Ganit first started to show her personality and her many skills and talents by adorning the green chalkboard in the back of our classroom with hers and her classmates' names in gorgeous chalk strokes of Hindi. I don't believe I erased that board until June. A consistently positive and often smiling role model for her peers in independent as well as in group work, Ganit was always on task, always with a positive attitude, always going further, digging deeper, striving harder. But she was fun and social too, and worked extremely well with others. When our world history class entered the extended weeks-long research phase, Ganit's original thesis, analyzing and evaluating the effects of colonization in India, evolved into a dynamic and thought-provoking culminating project, one that I still use today as an exemplar in my world history classes. Ganit sets the bar high for herself, and through her own calm brand of perseverance, she meets and often exceeds that bar. Having her again this year, now as an economics student, I see an even more mature, poised, and focused Ganit. Her scholarship continues. Coming to class prepared to learn every day, she personifies self-directed learner. She invests herself in her learning and does not simply plod through learning tasks to be already done with a concept. Most importantly, Ganit asks questions. She makes sure she really understands a concept, and she then thinks ahead to applications and how those might fit in her world. Ganit is already a lifelong learner and critical thinker, and she easily meets the standard for scholarship, a crucial criteria for gaining membership into the National Honor Society. And somehow, Ms. Berman has also found time, a great deal of time, in fact, to provide service to others. Ganit has traversed the community landscape, devoting many, many hours to providing hands-on support to local programs and the people those programs serve. From Journey to the North Pole, to the Highland Games, from spelling bees to post-pumpkin race cleanup duty, from volunteering to for the Art Alliance to helping with the Booster Club tournament. From youth coaching to one-on-one tutoring, and alas, from even egg stuffing, there is nary a community aspect Gunit has not been involved in. All this, and she also plays sports for Lin-Wood teams. I've seen her play soccer and basketball, and her fierceness, albeit with true sportsmanship, sure does come out on the field and the court. All this, and she also works 2 different jobs at the management level, and with an eye on a white lab coat future that she envisioned ever since she was a young girl, Gunit is also currently enrolled in an LNA certification course 3 nights a week with a 2+ round-trip commute, 2+ hour round-trip commute each of those nights. All this, and Gunit further contributes to the Lin-Wood community and expands her own experiences and education by participating in digital photography, student council, and youth in government. Evidence of leadership, another element required for members of NHS, reveals itself in many ways. Today, perhaps more than ever before, reaching out to others, and in the words of one of Gunit's teachers, Ms. Shammy, being consistently responsible, positive, kind, concerned about one's friends and classmates, and not easily drawn into drama, is a crucial role of a leader. Ms. Shammy expanded by saying, because of these traits, Gunit is highly respected by her classmates, whether or not they are also personal friends. In youth and government, Gunit is thoroughly involved, roots for her peers regarding their legislative bills, and is utterly trustworthy. In this world of too many followers and not enough people willing to take a stand, to become informed about the world they inhabit and will soon inherit, to embrace all people, to cheer on peers, to gain the trust and respect of adults, and to put others before self, Gunit leads powerfully with a calm steadiness through example. Woven in through the examples I cite of Gunit's leadership, I also give evidence for how Gunit exemplifies character, another of the key qualities one must demonstrate in order to achieve National Honor Society status. Defined by one credible online source as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual, character, unlike GPA, isn't something a student can simply decide to achieve, though it is a conscious decision to uphold and work at character building. It is an integral part of who that person is, guiding him or her through life's challenges, relationships, and decisions. It is character that embodies integrity, empathy, modesty, and conscientiousness, and it is Gunit's unfaltering positive character and well-balanced positive choices that make her a young lady who we can confidently trust, to push through challenges, to honor relationships with care and integrity, to make the right decisions, essentially, to be an upstanding role model citizen. I've also heard she's been doing a lot of yummy cooking at home lately. I couldn't be more proud or honored to welcome you, Gunit Berman, into the National Honor Society. It is young people like you who make our communities and schools and families so proud. It is aspiring, generous, caring, honest, and talented individuals and young leaders like you who assure all of us that the world we older folk will bequeath to you will be in good and capable hands. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Courier. Now I would like to introduce Mr. David Webster, who will be speaking about Brianna Chase.
Poor Bree, she got the luck of the draw here. She found out I was the one giving the talk today, and she quickly looked at Dakima, and Dakima said, it's okay. I made it through it. You can too. So. Tonight I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming all of you to the National Honor Society, a group that is built off high standards of achievement, not only in the area of academics or community service, but in character and leadership. I have been honored to have such a wonderful student, Bree, in my courses. Her strength, aspirations, and enthusiasm benefit not only her school, but also all her peers. We have inducted a member of Bree's family to NHS before, and now I'm greatly grateful to the family for culturing another outstanding student and look forward to more to come. One thing that Mr. and Mrs. Chase and the French culture have in common is cheese. At least great kids that remind us of cheese, such as Colby, Bree, Madison, Jack, and hopefully we stop there. So using the pillars of NHS, I would like to describe my favorite cheese. Told you this was coming. Leadership. Leaders take the initiative to aid others in a wholesome manner throughout their daily activities. Leaders sacrifice their personal interests in order to yield to the needs of others. Brie is described as one of the world's greatest and most popular cheeses. Just as Brie spends her time volunteering and participating in things like FBLA, Youth in Government, and too many other clubs and community activities for me to keep going with. This lends her nickname the Queen of Cheeses. Scholarship. Scholarship is characterized by the commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend the necessary time to cultivate his or her mind in the quest of knowledge. Cultivating the flavor of Brie varies depending on the ingredients added while producing the cheese. With additional responsibilities such as preparing and proctoring science labs, Brie is working on an independent study as a lab aide. Service. The willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without compensation or recognition of any kind. Although Brie is fantastic on its own, it may be recognized as a pairing or found in other recipes. Brie does not strive for recognition. She focuses on real and true values and the contributions she can make. Character. Character is what distinguishes one individual from another. It is the product of constant striving to make the right choices day after day. Students with good character demonstrate respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, citizenship in all of their actions. Brie, the cheese, may be categorized by its soft white velvety exterior and cream-colored buttery soft interior with grayish tinge under the rind. But hence, on the top of academics and volunteering, Brie also is intensely involved in her high school sports such as softball, soccer, the Plymouth team, and plays trumpet in the high school band. To conclude, I want to mention the words of a famous Greek philosopher and scientist, Aristotle, who said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not but an act, but a habit." While Brie has a habit of being excellent at all times, it will be a future benefit to our society with all their qualities and achievements.
Thank you, Mr. Webster, for that interesting speech. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Krill, who will be speaking about John Lyons.
Good evening, students, parents, friends, faculty, and community members. I am honored to be part of this faculty council who helps to select these students for the National Honor Society. But in many ways, these young men and women began the selection process long before they entered the halls of Lin-Wood High School. I didn't know the little boy version of John, but I wish I had. I sort of picture a gangly boy with moppy blonde hair, button-up shirt, ski pants, Converse sneakers, carrying around a pair of skis at the kank, and a laptop at the same time. He used words like amiable and vociferous in second grade, held doors open for people without being asked, and I picture he would never have kicked someone he liked in the shins to show them how much he liked them on the playground. Whether he knew it or not, John began this journey when he established a pattern for success in his classes by working hard each day, seeking new knowledge on his own, and stepping beyond his comfort zone. Lucky me, having John for 3 out of his 4 years of high school English. I did have to share him with Mrs. Witcher for 1 year. His exponential growth physically, we actually measured everyone's height recently to prove he was the tallest in our class, illustrates only a fraction of the emotional and intellectual evolution his brain has undergone in his last almost 18 years. His brother Will had this to share about John. When John knows more than me about something, he doesn't rub it in my face like I may do to him sometimes. He tries to teach me what I don't understand. This shows in soccer especially. For instance, I wasn't and still am not the most elegant runner. It makes me slower on the soccer field, and it keeps me from doing better in any sport. He noticed that a few years ago, and despite me refusing his help, he pushed me to work on it. I'm not terribly good at soccer, but if he hadn't helped me, I would be terrible, period. Thank you, Will, for your help on this. In AP Language, we spend a lot of time analyzing nonfiction writing, which to some of you in this room must sound boring. But the cool thing about teaching kids who love words, like John does and will openly admit to any audience, is that he not only wants to learn better ways of communicating via the written word, he also wants to apply his love of current events, history, political activism to the very words he writes. Anyone who's ever spoken to John or listened to him speak in class or in public or read his work in the Littleton Courier recognizes that he has a natural talent for forming sentences that are poignant and pointed, structured and savvy, and as carefully construed as they are captivating. To watch John's leadership in the classroom is to observe a young man who doesn't back down from his convictions, yet tries to communicate them persuasively so that others understand his perspective, one which is global, compassionate, and empowering. He never makes people feel stupid about their lack of understanding. He seeks to provide an alternative view of thinking about a subject. When we talk about powerful speeches in history, the context for time and place is never lost on John. He's a leader in the classroom who does not look away when teachers make eye contact, something I very much appreciate. He's not afraid of being wrong. He worries for the future of our country, but not for his place in it. To witness John's character is to see a tremendous friend to his peers. His dependability, honesty, and trustworthiness makes his mom proud daily. There have been times when John could have easily and understandably crawled under the proverbial rock of life and not come out again for a while. But he did not. He has faced adversity, grown from it, supported his friends and family, and been supported by them. I wanted John to be able to go to Emerson as much probably as John wanted to go himself. What a perfect school for him. So that when the day came and his acceptance notification arrived, I too felt like I had been accepted to the university of my dreams. To understand the service component is also to watch John as a work in progress. John applied to the NHS last year and was not accepted. He understood he didn't have enough community service experiences. He may have been disappointed, frustrated, or angry, but we did not see that version publicly. We saw a young man who worked harder in the areas he needed. And if you had seen John helping to coach recreational 4 through 6-year-old soccer, you would have smiled. He balanced work with school and sports and service, and did so with an optimistic attitude and the belief he will change the world through the power of the written word. John faces challenges in the moment, as he does with many situations. His strength of character is a force of nature. John is not one to complain. He is one to move forward. He is one to problem solve and not waste time bickering with those who will never allow themselves to view the world as a team project in the same way that he does. The grown-up version of John is not far away, and he's already got a pretty good start in the forward direction. He will continue to make his family proud. He will make the world a better place. And he will always be sure to give voice to those who are voiceless, just as he has always done. Being your teacher has been an honor as you continue to teach me so much. Congratulations, John Francis Lyons.
Thank you, Mrs. Curl. To speak about our fourth inductee, Mrs. Witcher, who will tell us about Daniel O'Connor.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome Dan O'Connor to the Osceola chapter of National Honor Society. To know Dan is to know that he is a creature of habit. always seen in the morning with his Dunkin' Donuts coffee, iced coffee. I don't think I've ever seen you with a hot coffee. He is beyond organized. He hates clutter. I've actually watched him organize Mrs. Whedon's room in a matter of minutes. I imagined his bedroom to have clothes always folded, bed always made. Is that not true? Oh my God. I have to sit down. My speech is a lot. And my first memories of Daniel's son, as I affectionately call him, did not come with interactions I had with him, but from hearing about him as the brother from the mouths of his sisters. Tracy may have been late to student council because of the annoying little brother, or she didn't want to hang around after school with her in the afternoon because he would just run in the halls and get in trouble. Don't worry, Dan, I would say he can't be that bad. And while I felt bad for little Dan, I didn't have any kids of my own, so I believed everything that Tracy said, and that Dan must have then been annoying. So fast forward to 9th grade, and it's rare, but I had him in English class in 9th grade, and what I knew most about the O'Connor girls is that they're very quiet, internal processors, but they always knew what they wanted. So would Dan be like his sisters? Would Dan's childish habits that drove his sisters crazy follow him and present themselves in the 9th grade? So at the start of the school year, freshmen, they don't know much about high school or what to make of their new teachers. So for the first few weeks, they stay silent and wide-eyed and very shy. It took a couple months for Dan to show his true colors. Yeah, Dan was very chatty. Hard to get Dan and Sam Schamberger to stop talking. So 2 myths I'd like to set straight. Dan is not at all like his sisters. He always has something to say or talk about an issue he's having. I hear him often in first block in Spanish, while my students are working very diligently and quiet. I hear Dan this morning complaining about how long his day was going to be. Had to put that in. And he knows everything going on with his peers. He knows everything happening in town. He always has a story to share about what is happening in his life. And secondly, I think that Dan has grown out of the little boy troublemaker that he once was. At least in school, I don't know, friends might be able to speak more about that out of school. But one thing I learned about Dan, and I'll share with his mom, though she could have probably told me years ago, there's the golden rule. That we don't speak to Dan until he has been awake for more than 30 minutes. And this now makes sense through the years that I've said, "Good morning, Dan," and he maybe gives me a head nod. Or he comes to the stop sign, comes to the complete stop, because it is the stop sign after all, and with my vigorous waving and shouting, I might get, like, a hand like this. Maybe. No eye contact, usually just knows I'm there, and it's like, okay, lady. But if we can get him past 8 a.m., as a student in all academic classes, he is conscientious and hardworking. He is a leader in the classroom, using his sarcasm and his wit to win over his peers to his side. He cares about his achievements, driven by future goals and college aspirations. He has shown his outgoing personality by working with the young students at leadership conferences, improving school climate, whether it's here at Lin-Wood or in other schools in the North Country. His time and energy he puts in to inspire is truly admirable. Whether he's at the station or at the mountain with his ski group, Dan shows his hard work ethic, corralling young ones, kind of like herding cats at the base of the mountain. I picture him towering over the little ones, maybe a kid under each arm, dragging them towards the magic carpet. I imagine with his little skiers that he is very patient and uses his kind heart when directing them. Because even though Dan is always good with a one-liner, he does have a big heart and would do anything for one of his friends. He is loyal, kind, generous, hardworking, attributes I know that he learned from his parents, as family is very important to him, promising never again to leave one of them out of his Spanish family tree. Which she noticed. During a study hall period this year, I implored Dan to help me with a Halloween hat making project. We were engaged, we were a team. And then I learned that neither of us were math experts that we needed, which I knew about myself. I don't like math. But some measuring and using compasses to make the exact perfect circle more than once became an instant challenge for us. There was an epiphany about the difference between radius and diameter, and just how to make a triangle. And we were giggling many times that we messed up and had to start over, abandoning math altogether and using guess and check as our only way to make the hats. Mr. Baker would not have been proud of us. But maybe it's our small school or the relationships we build with our teachers and students, but Dan was willing to put personal finance aside for one day to help me. So if it's a drug or alcohol counselor Dan wishes to be, or a marketing executive, or a rec director, or a physical therapist, or a coach, he will be successful. Because I know Dan will not be measuring and adding fractions or trying to find circumference. I am excited to watch Dan as a senior, to be there to listen to him logically make choices about college, to watch him weed through his options, maybe even to guide him with some of that process. Whatever happens, he'll make it entertaining for all of us along there for the ride. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you, Mrs. Witcher. And now to speak about our final inductee, Mr. Baker, who will talk about Cassidy Santos.
Unfortunately, Cassidy cannot be with us tonight because she's been quite ill for the last week or so. So we're going to proceed on, and I'll do the speech as if Cassidy was standing right down there beside Dan. We didn't. You don't quite make it. You're in the wrong row to begin with, Ms. Webster. We did introduce her on the introductions, and we'll have her do the induction oath at a later time. It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce Cassidy Santos to you. This junior has a very bright future ahead of her, something that she's been striving for wholeheartedly the last several years. She's an excellent classroom leader, I think. I say that because it's all based on the experiences of other teachers and reports from them. Somehow, she's always avoided taking a class from somebody named Baker. So I don't have personal experience there. However, she wasn't successful in controlling the advisory selection process her freshman year. So she got me, or she got stuck with me probably, as her advisor for 4 years. So I do have a little experience with Cassidy. She's always working hard on her studies during the advisory period, and that's the same report I get from the teachers in other classes. Always looking to reach that next level of achievement. Always brings a cheerful disposition to homeroom advisory. When you see her in the hallways, is always willing to help others. Always has a high level standards of honesty, dependability, integrity, respect. Cassie's been involved with many different clubs and activities. I remember early on in her freshman year, this is fairly early, probably the first week or second week of her freshman year, I decided to walk back and watch part of the girls' soccer game. And it was a nice sunny day, and probably was looking a little bit into the sun, I don't know. But somebody on the far side of the field had the ball, and they were going like a jackrabbit right up the side, and nobody was even slowing them down. So I asked the nearby teacher who the person was. I didn't know. It was Cassidy. That's how much I knew about Cassidy her freshman year to begin with. So I started learning more about Cassidy. My only response back to that teacher was, "Oh, she's in my homeroom." Oh, okay, I guess I pay attention a little bit more. I wear glasses, but that doesn't mean I can really see who's out there on soccer field. Sorry, students. So I kind of saw her as a speedster, born to run. Another club she has excelled in is Girls of Summer. This coming summer will be her 6th year in Girls of Summer. As Mrs. Krill tells it, Cassidy was quiet her first couple of years. And yet, in the last couple of years, the true leader in her has come through, shining forth, leading a group of girls in a hike, being a mentor for the younger girls. She truly loves hiking, so perhaps the Appalachian Trail is in the future. In youth and government, Cassidy wanted to make sure that she got things off to a good start her freshman year. So early in the year, she went right to Mrs. John, now Ms. Shammy, and told her that she was in the club, and perhaps she should get a meeting together so that the club could get going. Perhaps a bit direct, but it was effective. Perhaps the directness was prompted by your brother, Ronnie McIntosh, who reportedly promoted the club to her as something you've just got to do. You'll have fun. You'll love Mrs. John. So that was just the prompt that Ms. Shammy needed to get the club going, and perhaps a bit earlier in the year. Somehow, despite that, Mrs. John claims that Cassidy has been a quiet but steady leader. Quiet. Quiet even after that initial direct contact. Quiet. Even after writing and defending her bill on the environment. I don't see that as quiet. Quiet. Even after a bill was debated which would require every adult to be educated in banking, credit, finance, resume writing, civic responsibility, and require every adult to serve on jury duty. I just don't see that as being a quiet thing. So I'm not sure Ms. Shammy got that part right, but she sure did get it right, that Cassie is a steady, excellent leader committed to learning. My first impression of freshman year was she was born to run. Well, she's been doing that for the last couple of years as a mainstay on the cross-country team. Looking at the group of students here on stage tonight, it appears that if you were a soccer player, you had a pretty good shot at getting into National Honor Society. However, statistically speaking, we have 100% of the cross-country team represented. So statistically, I think the club to be in, folks, is cross-country. If you want to be on EHS. Math doesn't matter. Right, Mrs. Richter? Yeah. Dan would know that. He's on the cross-country team. STEM. S-T-E-M. In 1996, that acronym stood for Savings Through Energy Management. Today, that stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Challenging courses in all areas. This is the direction that Cassidy has set for herself. Advanced level courses in science, mathematics next year, on top of a college level engineering course this year. And special STEM institutes last summer and again this coming summer, this time in Maryland. She is definitely driven to succeed. With all that I've mentioned, and much more that was not mentioned, you can see why it was easy for the Faculty Selection Committee to select Cassidy Santos to the National Honor Society. She has certainly earned the honor. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Members of the Osceola chapter must effectively demonstrate the 5 qualities which are held in high esteem by the National Honor Society. At this time, the current NHS members would like to review these 5 qualities. To light the first candle, the knowledge candle, will be Thor Bartlett.
Knowledge. Knowledge is a state of knowing. Each day, through experience and study, we become more familiar with, more aware of, and gain understanding of the world around us. The way in which each of us perceives, discovers, and learns through our experiences and studies makes how we know who we are unique. It is the responsibility of each person to learn as much as he or she can. One should look forward to each new experience and take it on with the desire to learn and expand one's knowledge. It is with knowledge that a person can overcome any obstacle that he or she may face in life.
Lighting the leadership candle is myself. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to obtain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interest of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, They are ineffective without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is an important charge to each of our members and to the candidates. For the scholarship candle, Dehema Welch. Scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education only ends with life. Scholarship is one great element in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past and the light which illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities and inherent scholarship. For the service candle, Laura Bartlett.
Service. Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of the day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. Willingness to work for the benefit of others or those in need without monetary compensation or without recognition is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow.
Andrew Harrington, lighting the character candle.
Character. Character is the force within each individual, which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each one individuality. It is that without which no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character which guides one through life, and when once developed, steadily grows. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is a problem of self-control. We must be, in reality, what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, we may hope to prove an example that we value character.
Thank you, NHS members. At this time, the Osceola Chapter Advisor, Mrs. Parent, will administer the induction pledge.
I would like the inductees and all members of the National Honor Society, including those in the audience, to rise and repeat the induction pledge after me. I pledge myself to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I've been selected, I will be true to the principles for which it stands, I will be loyal to my school, I will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. When I read your name, I would like you to come forward, accept your PIN, membership card, and certificate, and then sign your name in the membership register. Fatima Welch. Andrew Harrington. Thor Bartlett. And Chloe Laus.
I would like to introduce Mrs. Burho and the Select Chorus.
Somewhere far from nowhere, I grew both strong and tall, longing to become, unknowing what the path
would like to introduce Mr. Nelson, who will make a few closing remarks.
A group of students were asked to list what they thought were the 7 wonders of the world. There was some disagreement, but the following received the most votes: Egypt's Great Pyramids, Taj Mahal, the Grand Canyon, Panama Canal, the Empire State Building, St. Peter's Basilica, China's Great Wall. While gathering the votes, the teacher noticed that one quiet student had turned in her paper. She asked the girl if she was having trouble with her list. The girl replied, "Yes, a little. I couldn't quite make up my mind because there are so many." The teacher said, "Well, tell us what you have and maybe we can help." The girl hesitated and then shared her version of the 7 wonders of the world: to see, to hear, to touch, to taste, to feel, to laugh, to move. The room was quiet and everyone realized that the things that we often overlook as simple, ordinary, and take for granted are truly wondrous. A gentle reminder that some of the most precious things in life cannot be built by hand or bought by man. All of tonight's inductees into the National Honor Society possess outstanding qualities in the area of knowledge, leadership, scholarship, service, and character. We trust that you don't take these qualities for granted and will continue to make them a high priority throughout the rest of your life and include them on your list when you think about the 7 wonders of the world. I challenge you not to rest on your successes, but continue to strive towards even higher goals. Surround yourself with good people and take advantage of the opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you for making Lin-Wood a better place. We wish you the best.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. On behalf of the members of the National Honor Society, I would like to thank everyone for coming. At the conclusion of the ceremony, you are invited to take a few minutes to congratulate our newest members. Members, please be available near the front for a few minutes for photographs. We invite everyone to please feel free to have some of the refreshments we've provided. Right over there.